What's going on, everybody? My name is How Vu, and this is the How Vu Moto Vlog. Welcome. Today's episode is a tribute video to my beloved Honda CBR500R. This is a million reasons why you should get a CBR500R. Coincidentally, a million reasons why current CBR500R owners love their motorcycle. So I know some of you are thinking, especially people that are following this channel, how Vu, aren't you a little bit of a hypocrite because you got rid of your CBR500R? Well, to that I say, if you love something, let it go, right? Is that how it goes? If you love something, let it go. And if it finds its way back to you, then it was meant to be. So that is what I'm going with. For those of you who are wondering, why did you get rid of your CBR500R? Well, you'll just have to watch the other videos on this channel, my friend. And to all you subscribers, thanks for coming back. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Number one reason why you're going to love your CBR500R is it's a Honda, baby. Who doesn't love a Honda or knows someone who loves a Honda, right? 2 wheels, 4 wheels, Accord, Civic, 500R. Everyone loves Hondas. They've been making engines for so long. They are the number one motorcycle manufacturer in the world. They've been at it for so long. They have the most experience building these quality, reliable engines. There are Hondas on every single continent of every shape, size, style, budget. I mean, Hondas are everywhere and they're always working. They're always dependable. That's not to say that the other Japanese brands aren't, because it's clear to me at this point that they all make great, excellent, dependable bikes. But we're talking about that edge here, and I think Honda gets that edge. You know, you'll always pay a little more for the Honda. That's true. But I think in terms of the build quality, in terms of the reliability, in terms of the refinement, you get what you pay for with the Honda. So that's always great to stand behind a Honda, to have a Honda between your legs, right? That's what she said. So the slipper clutch, ABS. The model that I had, the 2020 with ABS, that's what I'm going to be speaking to. That's the most experience that I have with this motorcycle. So between the slipper clutch, between ABS, between the smooth throttle, I mean, all of that makes for a perfect beginner experience. As a beginner, you don't want to feel intimidated by all this new stuff that you have to learn, this entirely new experience, right? And things like a slipper clutch that's so easy to pull in, things like ABS, where it's going to let you have a little more freedom with what you do on the brakes without it locking up, right? The smooth throttle, which is going to make it not throw you off like a bull on the rodeo, right? Bull in the rodeo. So all those things are going to let you focus on your skills as a rider and the overall riding experience and enjoying yourself, building up that confidence, right? You can't put a price on building up confidence in the beginning of your riding career. You want to get as confident as possible, as fast as possible. And, you know, this whole ride experience the CBR 500R offers you is just perfect for you as a beginner rider. I mean, you're going to feel like you're mastering this bike in no time. Just the slipper clutch snaps, shifting through the gears up and down. I mean, just smooth shifts. And it's just going to inspire so much confidence. And, you know, confidence goes up, fun goes up, confidence goes up, fear goes down. Fear goes down, fun goes up. It's like an inverse relationship, fun and fear, right? So that's where you want to be on a motorcycle, especially as a beginner. The killer looks, oh my God, the killer looks of the CBR 500R. The 2020 model has those dual LED headlights, those mean looking headlights. The bike, the body has great lines. I even had these little air cutouts, like aerodynamic air cutouts in the back seat. And it was just a nice little touch, right, that you would see on a higher end super sport bike. But Honda included little things like that. And I just think it's just a great looking bike. People are going to come up to you and tell you it's a great looking bike. So just be prepared when you're riding around on one of these things. It just looks so good. It looks like a little baby Fireblade. It looks like a super sport motorcycle. And to be able to get the experience of having that with an entry-level sport bike, I mean, that's amazing. Even ever since its inception in 2013, they all have always looked good. I mean, this is one of Honda's better-looking motorcycles, to be honest. And they've always looked better than equivalent motorcycles in their class, in my opinion. So killer good looks. Like I said, the build quality of a Honda, these are actually made in Thailand, but you wouldn't tell the difference. These Thai gals and girls, they know how to build their motorcycles, and you know, you're not missing anything versus the bikes that are made in Japan. The build quality is right there. It's on par. Honda wouldn't leave something like that to chance. I'm pretty sure that they'd really make sure anything rolling out of any one of their factories is top notch. So don't worry about that. Seat height and weight. I know the weight especially can be a point of contention for new riders. They want something lighter, which is completely understandable. But I will say that the CBR 500R it weighs more than its competitors, right? It's going to weigh more than a Ninja 300, Ninja 400, MT-03, R3. It's going to weigh considerably more. But what you get with a heavier bike is, one, it's going to feel more solid on the highway. So if touring is important to you, if highway commuting is important to you, it's going to feel a little, I would say a lot better on the highway in terms of just a luxurious feel. You're not going to feel like a little paperweight being blown around in the wind as much as you are on the 500R with that extra weight. And I know it can be a little intimidating as a new rider, you would want something a little lighter, but honestly, you shouldn't be in the position where you're dealing with the dead weight of the motorcycle all that much, right? You should generally never aim to deal with the dead 425 pound weight of a motorcycle. So you learn how to control your motorcycle. And if you just bite the bullet, go with the Honda and learn how to work with that heavier bike, then you'll be pretty much ready for anything, especially anything in the sport bike class. That's generally, the top end of how much sport bikes weigh, unless you want to go up to the leader bikes. And even in that case, they don't weigh that much more than 425 pounds. My 600RR, for reference, weighs like 15 pounds less even than the 500R. So, you'll kind of be ready for anything in the sport bike realm if you just learn how to handle that heavier bike. And honestly, with the low seat height, under 31 inches, it's very approachable for a new rider. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Ample power. I say ample, but that's putting it lightly. I think the great thing about the CBR500R is that it's more than enough for anything that you need to do on the street. I mean, when you're talking about guys who say, oh, it got boring, those are the same guys who say, oh, I got a 600 and that got boring after a month and I got the leader bike, right? Because they're really only going in a straight line. I pretty much guarantee you any dude who comes up to you and says, oh, that bike got boring after a week, they're just really going in a straight line. They are not Valentino Rossi out here on the streets. And I'm pretty sure that they aren't able to technically, skillfully take corners very fast. They're just gunning it on the highway like a hooligan, and that's why they think it's aka not fast, or that's why they think it's boring, right? For the most part, you're not going to be shredding it up on the streets. And when you're talking about bikes that go 160, 180, 200 miles per hour, how often do you really get to do that? I mean, how often are you even going to take your bike to the track? Are you ever going to take your bike to the track? And when you do, are you really going 160 miles per hour the whole time? I mean, how fast are you taking these corners? Above 120 miles per hour? What are we saying here, right? So when we're talking about needing more power, the line between want and need gets blurred sometimes. But I assure you, the CBR500R, you can have a blast on it. And the main thing is, and I think a lot of new riders overlook this, is that you get to use the full spectrum of what the CBR can offer you. So in terms of value, in terms of experience, I mean, you can't beat that, right? You can tame this beast. If you get a leader bike, if you even get a 600 class bike, you can't really tame that beast on the street. You won't even on the street get close to flirting even with the line of performance that these bikes are willing to offer. Not even close to that level on the street, right? But on the 500, it's everything you need for the street. It's more than enough power to have fun in the twisties. It's more than enough power to have fun at the racetrack. And quite honestly, it's more than enough power than any of the amount of skill that most riders are willing to develop, right? How many people are just really committed to just shredding it up and getting a knee down and really just Rossiing it out there? Not many people are even willing to put in the time and effort to get there. So to think that the 500R is not enough, it's just not true for most people. It's by and large, it's more than enough for, I'll say, your average rider, and that's putting it lightly. So that was a little bit of a rant there, but that's just, it's really fun to be able to really use your bike and really get to know your bike from start to finish, from top to bottom. Really use that thing. I don't mean use and abuse in a negative way, but just really get the most bang for your buck and just feel really good that, man, I'll get a lot of value out of this thing because, we go from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real, guys. Great gas mileage on the CBR500R. We talked about the 4.5 gallon tank, which is the biggest in its class, combined with great gas mileage. I mean, if you're just cruising 75 miles per gallon easily, if you're trying to be economical, over 80 easily. I remember my display when I was going in Yosemite, just cruising through the park at 40 miles per hour, 45. The display at one point said 100 miles per gallon. It was half a day went by before even one bar disappeared on the gauge. So that was unbelievable, guys. Even when you're hitting it hard, I mean, it still gets better gas mileage than most sport bikes, let's be honest. So that's what I'll say about that. I mean, if you're looking to tour between that and the low seat height and the good gas mileage and the high handlebars, it's not that aggressive of a position. It's important to remember that it is a sport bike first and foremost, but it's very easy to commute on this. It's very easy to tour on this because you're pretty upright. So yeah, I think I ran through my list here. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of things, which is where you guys come in. By you guys, I mean owners of the CBR500R. What did I miss? What do you love about your CBR500R? I know I promised a million reasons why, so you guys are going to help me fill in the gap here, please. So if you're still watching, I still have a bonus reason why you're going to love your CBR500R, and that's the CBR500R Facebook group, y'all. This group has been invaluable. I've been a part of 3 or 4 motorcycling groups on Facebook, and the CBR500R group is bar none my favorite. The most helpful, the most friendly, the most active, the most good-looking people on Facebook are a part of this group, right? Vince Johnson, one of the moderators, look out for him. He's an absolute legend. He's taken his bike from hell and back, wrecked it, rebuilt it. He knows everything, every single nut and bolt about the 500R, and he's so engaged in the community, and he's absolute gold, absolute legend. And everybody else that's a part of that channel. I mean, I posted this morning, and by the way, all the pictures that you see in this video are true owner pictures of people that are part of this group, CBR500R Facebook group. And just big shout out to everyone sharing their bike pictures, even the bikes that were laid down. Sadly, RIP in some cases. Some of them are being rebuilt. But honestly, I put out that status asking for pictures, asking if they were cool with it being on Facebook, and I got such an overwhelming response. Like over 100 people submitted in a couple hours. It's just absolutely crazy. It's just a testament to how dedicated and how active and how friendly and helpful the people of this group are. And that just adds value to the bike experience. That just adds value to owning a CBR 500R. And even if you don't own one, even if you're in the market, join the group. Just request. You'll get added. Ask questions. Look at pictures. Listen to people's stories. Just everything. It's just such an amazing group. And I would be remiss if I did not tell you about that. So, guys, CBR 500R. Perfect bike, whether you're beginner, whether you've never ridden before. And even from what I've gathered, a lot of guys are coming back to this bike and they're making it their forever bike. Guys who have been on bigger bikes, been on a lot of different types of bikes, they're coming to the CBR 500R because it just makes so much sense. It checks so many boxes in so many different categories, and the amount of compromises that you have to make are so low. And I think that's just so appealing to the beginner rider, the intermediate rider, the seasoned rider, and just another reason to commend Honda for giving us this platform. It just makes so much sense for so many reasons, guys. So thank you so much if you've made it to the end. Again, a big shout out to the CBR 500R Facebook group. Thank each and every one of you. I have no intention on leaving the channel, even though I don't own a CBR 500R anymore. Please don't kick me out. But as always, everybody, I wish you happiness. I wish you health. I wish you unlimited joy on your motorcycling journey, wherever it may take you. Stay safe. Take care, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.